all cast of Good Times who passed away. One of the men on this list died in a Los Angeles area hospital, and the public didn't find out for almost 6 weeks. He's one of the most recognizable fathers in the history of black television. His story is our number one. Good Times ran for 6 seasons and became one of the defining sitcoms of the 1970s. Today, we're going through everyone from that world who's gone 10 actors, from the smallest recurring roles to the family at the center of it all. 10. Albert Reed, J.R. Alderman, Fred C. Davis. Albert Reed Jr. played Alderman Fred C. Davis, a recurring local politician character across 6 seasons of the show. Before his acting career, he'd actually spent 2 decades as a real security officer at Los Angeles International Airport, rising to chief of security. He died in May 1986, at 76, the very first Good Times cast member to pass away. To this day, no specific cause of death was ever publicly reported. Reed's death barely made headlines outside the show's fan base. Our next name's death came suddenly, in the middle of what should have been the prime of his career. 9. Theodore Wilson, Sweet Daddy Williams. Theodore Wilson played Marion's Sweet Daddy Williams, a flashy, larger-than-life recurring character. He died in July 1991, at just 47, following a stroke, the youngest death of anyone connected to the show. Wilson's death cut short a career that was still very much active. Our next name spent the show's later seasons as one of its most memorable guest characters, before a lifelong health condition caught up with him. 8. Moses Gunn, Carl Dixon. Moses Gunn played Carl Dixon, the atheist shop owner who dated Florida Evans in the show's 4th season. Off-screen, Gunn was a genuinely respected stage actor, a co-founder of the Negro Ensemble Company, and a Tony-nominated performer who'd played Othello on Broadway. He died in December 1993 at 64, from complications of asthma he'd dealt with for years. Gunn's theater career was arguably more decorated than his sitcom role ever showed. Our next name played a beloved reverend on the show and spent decades as one of the most respected voices in American theater himself. 7. Roscoe Lee Browne, Reverend Sam. Roscoe Lee Browne appeared as Reverend Sam in a handful of episodes, a small part of a much larger career that included Broadway, film, and even voicing the pig in the movie Babe. He died in April 2007 at 84, after a long battle with stomach cancer. Browne's Good Times appearance was a footnote in a career that spanned 5 decades. Our next name became part of the family for its very last season, marrying into it just before the show came to an end. 6. Ben Powers, Keith Anderson. Ben Powers joined the cast for the show's 6th and final season, playing Keith Anderson, the man who marries Thelma Evans. He died in April 2015 at 64 in New Bedford, Massachusetts. His family didn't specify a cause at the time, though later reporting indicated it was liver cancer. Powers joined the show right as it was ending, giving Thelma's story a real conclusion. Our next name played one of the show's most beloved side characters for years, largely unnoticed outside its most devoted fans. 5. Raymond Allen, Ned the Wino. Raymond Allen played Ned the Wino, a recurring neighborhood character who became a genuine fan favorite despite limited screen time. He died in August 2020 at 91 from a respiratory illness. Allen lived to 91, decades removed from the role that made him a familiar face to an entire generation. Our next name's death came the same year and revealed a health struggle her own family and fans never knew she was fighting. 4. Jeanette DuBois, Willona Woods. Jeanette DuBois played Willona Woods, Florida's best friend and one of the most beloved characters on the show. She also co-wrote the show's iconic theme song, later reused for The Jeffersons. She died suddenly in her sleep from cardiac arrest in February 2020 at 74. What only came out afterward, through her death certificate, she'd been quietly living with chronic kidney disease and hypertension, conditions she and her family had kept entirely private. DuBois helped write one of television's most recognizable theme songs and hid a serious illness right up until the end. Our next name held the whole building together as its superintendent, on screen and off. 3. Johnny Brown, Nathan Bookman. Johnny Brown played Nathan Bookman, the perpetually exasperated building superintendent who became one of the show's most quoted characters. In March 2022, he went into cardiac arrest and collapsed shortly after leaving a doctor's appointment for a pacemaker procedure. He died shortly after, at 84. Browne's death came right after a procedure meant to help his heart, not end his life. Our next name was the face of the entire show, the mother who held the Evans family together. 2. Esther Rolle, Florida Evans. Esther Rolle played Florida Evans, the moral center of the entire show and one of the most respected matriarchs in television history. Off-screen, she'd battled diabetes for years, eventually going on kidney dialysis in her final seasons of health. She died in November 1998, just 9 days after her 78th birthday, from complications of that same disease. Rolle was good times to an entire generation of viewers, and the man who played her husband on screen has a story that's even harder to believe. 1. John Amos, James Evans Sr. John Amos played James Evans Sr., the family's proud, hard-working patriarch, for the show's first 3 seasons before his character was written out. He went on to a career spanning 5 decades, including Roots, one of the most watched television events in American history. He died on the 21st of August, 2024, in a hospital in Inglewood, California, from congestive heart failure. His death wasn't publicly announced until October 1, nearly 6 weeks later. The man who played one of television's most iconic fathers passed away almost in silence, with the world only finding out about it weeks after the fact. 10 actors, 1 family, and 1 neighborhood that shaped how an entire generation saw itself on television, and every one of them is gone now, except the 3 who are still carrying the show's legacy forward today. 10 actors, 6 seasons, one of the most important black sitcoms ever made. If one of these stories surprised you, tell us which one in the comments. And if you want us to walk through the cast of another classic show next, subscribe, because there's always more behind the credits than you'd expect.